This is the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less. Ever wish you could re-listen to your favorite interview or segment? Do you enjoy hearing older shows for the first time in years? Then the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less is just what you need. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Welcome to another edition of the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less. I'm your host, John Solberg, and today's show is being brought to you by The Butcher Shop. The Butcher Shop is home of the A9 Master Kobe briskets, where they are always hand-picked. This father and son team has operated this retail meat market in Pensacola, Florida for the past 15 years. Kevin and Jordan ship nationwide to the biggest names in barbecue. The A9 brisket won both sides of the American Royal, and that happened in 2019. They also ship some of the finest prime, dry-aged Australian Wagyu and Japanese Wagyu steaks to people just like you and me who aspire to be the kings of their backyards. The Butcher Shop always has Berkshire, Compart Duroc, Allegiance Duroc, and Prairie Fresh all-natural pork in stock, and again, always hand-picked for you. Are you into wild game items? How about some bison, some venison, elk, camel, ostrich? Have you been searching for those big 10 to 12 pound boneless turkey breasts featured on How to Barbecue Right? The Butcher Shop has them in stock, and they are ready to ship to you today. So whether you're looking for the best competition, briskets, ribs, or pork butts, or you just want to have a better option to cook at home, give the Butcher Shop a call. 850-458-8782. That's 850-458-8782. You can also get a hold of them through their Facebook page, facebook.com/thebutchershop. Shop is spelled S-H-O-P-P-E. Mention the Barbecue Central show, and you're going to save 10% off your entire order. The Butcher Shop, home of the A9 brisket. And here's what's going on in today's episode. From July 28th back in 2015, Jay Curry from Spicewine Cookers talks a little bit about pit building. Let's get to it. Here's Greg and Jay Curry from July the 28th, 2015.
All right, I've made it a priority on this show over the last few weeks and months to get pit builders on this show to let you guys know who's out there, what's out there, the options that are available. My next guest basically introduced me to the world of cabinet-style cookers, or whatever you're calling them these days, back in the day, and he is here to talk about his pits again tonight. Let's go ahead and head back to the hotline and welcome old friend of the show, Jay Curry from Spicewine Cookers. Jay, how are you, buddy?
Oh, pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous, Jay. Appreciate you making time for the show. Obviously, it's been a few minutes since the last time we sat down and had a spice wine chat, so I guess maybe the best thing to do is kind of pull out large picture and get a little background about you and, you know, how you kind of got into the whole barbecue business.
Okay, well, long story short, I started building a cooker for myself, and before I had it done, I had 2 or 3 people wanting one. And it took me about 3 years to get one for myself at home. And we decided to, give it a go, see what happened. And, we just, it just kind of went, got out of control from there. And, we made a website, which was very early in our careers, and the website looked kind of empty. So I made a few barbecue recipes for sauces and stuff, and now the sauces and spices have taken off, and we have 3 world championships, to to back us up. So that's where we are.
Jay, are you like a fab guy just by trade or by profession, or is something you just like to tinker with and you were starting to build a pit? Because look, I mean, I'm like probably those jerks that came over to you and said, "Oh, Jay, you got to build me one too," because I can't build like. There's a lot of things that I can't do, and building a smoker is definitely going to be probably first or second on that list. So if you find somebody that is A, able to build one, and then B, which was probably your case, or maybe this is A or B reversed, something that looks really kick-ass, and now I want one too. Is that something that's just in your forte, or like, how do you go about building the pit?
Well, I was a restaurant manager for 13 years, so I'm more into food than I was into welding. I have another company that's Columbia Welding and Machine Company, and my great uncle and my dad, a long time ago, used to do welding and stuff like that. But my brother and I and my other partner bought the business. We don't do welding anymore, but I learned how to weld from my dad, and I was just, welding to build one for myself. And now it turns out that I'm doing more welding than I ever wanted to do.
So when you're building, go ahead.
But it's been one of those things where it was something that when I started welding for myself, more of convenience than anything else, not welding for the public.
Jay Curry joining me here on the show from Spicewine Cooker. SpiceWineIronworks.com is the website if you want to check out some of the products here while we're chatting over the next few minutes. Jay, in regards to, you're building this pit for yourself and you get some people coming up to you, when do you decide that, as you said, it's kind of getting out of hand and you officially go into the pit building business?
Well, we started building quite a few of them, and then my accountant, came and said, well, you need to separate the two businesses because it's really getting to the point where you need to, we were building under Columbia Welding for, I don't know, probably the first 2 or 3 years. And then they suggested that, well, it needs to be split up. And, that caused its own problems because now, I've got 2 businesses and 2 different sets of books to take care of. I do all the bookkeeping myself. So, I wasn't really looking forward to that, but, it's been a really fun ride, and I've learned a lot of stuff along the way. And my opinion about pit building and my philosophy of pit building has really changed since the last time I talked to you. And I'm really comfortable where I am right now.
Are you surprised that when you decided that you were going to go into the pit building business headlong, are you surprised that it has been able to sustain here over the last many years and that you've seen the success that you had? Do you think it would be, more flash in the pan and might die off?
Well, and like I just told you, my philosophy has changed since I last talked to you. Everybody and their brother is building pits nowadays. And for example, I had a guy that I just talked to 2 days ago. He goes, well, how come you don't have more pits out there? And I had to tell him, I'm like, I'm not out there to build the most pits out there. I'm out there to build the best pit that's out there. And we build them all by hand. And there's nothing mass produced about our cookers. I mean, there's just 3 of us that build. We're all the owners, and we take our time. And if it's not right, it doesn't leave the shop. So, and unfortunately, a lot of people want a firm due date. I don't give that. I say when it's done, it's done. When it's right, it's done.
Do you feel that you've lost some business because you've really held to your philosophy and decided not to kind of bend around what the impatient public is demanding? Well,
if they're in a hurry, then I've had a couple of people that I have, I kind of felt like when they were, talking to me that they were in a hurry, and I've told them, I said, well, if you need it, you can either have it done right or right now. And if you want it done right now, then maybe we're not the ones to be with. And I have turned down some business because I've had people offer me $500 to put them to the head of the list. And I'm like, no, you're not any more important than the guy that's on first of the list. So I'm not going to do that. That's not the way we do business.
Jay, back when I kind of first found you and we had talked, there was certainly a lot of offset style pits. And as I had mentioned in the open, Spicewine was kind of that first foray, at least for me, into the upright or the cabinet style, the vault style, whatever they're calling them these days. Why did you decide to go into that style of cooker than, something offset?
Well, apples and oranges, it's what I wanted to do. With the offsets, that's a whole different style of cooking in itself. I can't imagine it. I don't think that there is an offset that's totally insulated like a cabinet style would be. So I'm not really sure how, and the cabinet style, insulated cabinet style, it's going to be weatherproof no matter what type of weather. The offsets, if the firebox is out there, it's not insulated. And I don't know, there may be something that's out there insulated. I don't know. I just choose not to do that. A fully insulated cabinet, like ours, will cook the same at 5 below zero as it does at 95 degrees outside. So that's just the type that I chose. It's easy to maintain. Ours are, so well insulated that they're painted with automotive paint.
And there you go, Greg Rempe, Jay Curry from July 28, 2015. If you'd like to hear the rest of this show, head on over to the bbqcentralshow.com. There'll be a link in the show notes today to take you to the complete episode. Encourage you to do that. Also, over there on the internet, make sure you check out The Butcher Shop on their Facebook page, facebook.com/The Butcher Shop, shop being spelled SHOPPE. And when you put in your order, make sure you mention the Barbecue Central Show to save your 10%. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less, I'm your host, John Solberg. I look forward to talking to you again soon.